尖嘅歌唱家同埋別出心裁嘅多媒體創作，喺比較親密嘅非傳統場地演出，讓觀眾沉浸喺其中，有一個難忘嘅歌劇體驗。The fifth performing group is More Than Musical. More Than Musical is a non-profit opera company founded in 2016 with the vision to make opera in Hong Kong more accessible, relevant, and contemporary to broad and diverse communities. The company presents opera in an intimate and modern way. Their performance focuses on critical scenes, highlighting the drama and power of sensational areas in more intimate venues without traditional stagings, providing audience with a unique immersive experience. 佢哋今日將會演出21世紀嘅歌劇。Today, More Than Musical will perform operas in the 21st century. 有請。
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Happy to see some of my friends. Thank you for coming. Let me stand right here. So I'm Lucy from More Than Musical, and I'm co-founder of More Than Musical. So since we're at the PAX, I want to ask you, I'm sure you have been to an opera because you're performing art people, right? But have you ever invited someone who has never been to an opera to join you to an opera production? Yes or no? No. For my personal experience, I would either go to an opera alone or I would go with friends who have already been to opera. Because asking someone completely new to join an opera is very difficult. Hello? Sorry, where's the pointer? Oh, yes. Because usually people have perceptions about opera. It's too long. It's like 3 hours with a very little space in the theater. And it's very, very irrelevant. Story from more than 100 years ago and then happening in Paris, like in the big costume, why would it matter to me? And it's very intimidating because people think, well, like, you have to listen to all those German, Italian, French, it's so difficult. And this art form is for the people who are highly educated or for the elite. That's why we created More Than Musical in 2016. Our vision is to make opera accessible, contemporary, and relatable. Our opera is very different from what you imagine. It's much more compact, intimate, but we keep the highest artistic quality. And we are the Hong Kong's only immersive opera company. Immersive is not only in terms of space, but it's also how we curate a show to fit into people's lives today. So how do we make opera into a new experience? First, we have to make it shorter. We make our opera production and events into 90 minutes. So if you can sit through a commercial movie, then you can sit through our events. And we want to make it easier for our audience to understand. Usually we will have our director to explain a little bit of what's going on in the performance so audience know how to capture the performance. And we put the plot from a place you find very remote to a place you can be relatable. And we like using young artists, especially Asian artists, because when you see Asian young people performing, it's another layer of relatable element. And we believe opera can happen in any unexpected venue. Thank you. Isn't it beautiful? Is this quite special if it's this close singing right in front of you, right? That's the experience we want to create for our audience. So in the past 8 years, we have done a lot of things. We have produced 1 opera movie, and we have done 4 major opera productions, more than 40 events, and we have reached out to 22,000 people from Hong Kong and beyond. We want to make opera not only an option in performing arts, but we want to create opera that's so entertaining and relatable that even you're thinking of a Saturday night out, you will come to our events. Today, I'm going to use 3 examples to demonstrate how we make opera accessible, relatable, and contemporary. First is our opera gig. Usually, we do it in different locations. It could be a bar, a restaurant, a pub, secret venue, shopping mall. It's 20 minutes of music, and then we give our audience a break so they can get a drink or have a chat with a friend or go to the loo. And then they will come back for another set of music, and then we'll have another break, and then we will have the 3rd set of music. So the whole thing is still 90 minutes. We have done this in many locations. As you can see, our young artist, like Ming's sitting there, he has always been part of the gig. They are all having fun. And it happened in various locations, as you can recognize: shopping mall, bar, secret place. And now I would like to play 1 short video, which was taken in January, in one of the opera gigs we had in Central. So you can see, very intimate, just like how you are having the events right here. And what I usually got feedback after the gig is, for those who have been to opera, they will say, "Oh, I've never experienced singing this close to me." And for those who have never been to an opera, they will say, "I never knew there are actually local people singing operas in Hong Kong. And they are so young and pretty and good." That's how we make opera much more accessible. And the next thing I want to share is our one and only movie, La Bohème. As you may know, the opera is an Italian opera produced more than 100 years ago. It's a masterpiece by Puccini. It's quite unrelatable, right? But the story is actually about 4 poor young artists. They were so cold in the winter, but they're so poor that they have to burn their manuscript and artwork to stay warm. And we actually find this story super relatable during COVID time. Didn't we? All the venues were shut down. All the musicians and performers, they were without jobs. So during COVID, we actually produced this movie in New York during Chinese New Year, when Chinese New Year's Chinatown was empty. So this movie is like a documentary which filmed the very critical moments as well as the beautiful opera. And we did a private viewing in Hong Kong. And these are some numbers. More than 90 people of our audience said it's very enjoyable and exceeding the expectation. But what we find is more impressive is almost all of them find that the opera is very relatable to their current human experience. And we toured this opera movie in Japan last year in 14 cities with more than 3,300 people viewed. It was covered by all major press in Japan, as well as South China Morning Post and the Vogue Hong Kong. So if you have a platform to show a movie, you're welcome to talk to us. And our last example is Carmen Hong Kong. We produced this opera in July 2021 in Free Space in West Kowloon. Thanks to our biggest sponsor, the Hong Kong Arts Development Council, to make this happen. We had sold away all our tickets, and we have great feedback. But we want to show you how we actually make opera much more relatable to Hong Kong. So we all know about the story of Carmen. It's originally an opera in French, and it's about this gypsy girl, Carmen. She is in Seville, and she was fighting for her own life. She wants to control her own fate. And we want to make it so relatable that Carmen, from our version, is a girl who was born in Hong Kong. And she was working and grew up in around the Mong Kok area. So she was born in Mong Kok area, and she works in a very high-end bar in Wan Chai. And everyone asked me, so how do we deal with the toreador, the bullfighter? So our bullfighter is a jockey from Hong Kong. So we have the race course scene. Some pictures we have taken from the opera. As you can recognize, the Leonites, the plastic red chair from all the Dai Pai Dong of Yau Ma Tei Temple Street. And you can see here, they are wearing Chinese-style qipao because they are girls working in a very high-end bar in Wan Chai. So they are the best friends of Carmen, and they do smuggling together. And here you can see she is holding a mobile phone on stage. And so they are doing a live selfie broadcast so audience could see what actually is happening on the stage. And I must say, when people come to opera, they don't expect to see technology. So when they pull out the phone doing selfie, everyone was laughing. So it was very fun. And right now, I want to show you another video, which was the highlight from our Carmen Hong Kong.
Like a tequila shot of opera.
比我想象中的有趣。The way how everything is immersive.
すごく感動しました。
It was really relatable and it was really accessible.
这是我第一次看歌剧，体验感觉非常好。
可能普通人會覺得 classic 嘅 opera 係好悶啊，但係今次嘅 immersive opera 係完全顛覆咗我對 classic opera 嘅想像咯。
I get to know more about the processes of creating this kind of NGO arts organization. This would be a really insightful and a fruitful experience.
The best from Hong Kong, the best from overseas.
Opera is a powerful storytelling that just touches people's heart. We are very excited. Stay tuned.
So you have seen what the audience said, from our interns to our multilingual, multicultural audience, and see what the press said. South China Morning Post said we made this nearly 150-year opera to become more immediate and relatable. And very similar review has been published also on Singtao Daily. And we did a survey during the performance. So instead of inserting a questionnaire at the program, I asked everyone to pull out the phone after the curtain call, so no one could leave before because they answered my questionnaire. So we collected like around 70 to 80% of our audience feedback, and this is the real data. 50% is under 40, almost 80% is under 50, and they are mostly Chinese speaking. This is very astonishing. Do you know what is the average age of opera goer in the West? See? When you go to an opera house in the West, you would see this wave of silver hair generation. And it doesn't happen in our shows. And almost all of them find our performance very high quality, very creative, and almost all of them have more interest in opera. And thanks to our outreach partner, we have invited more than 300 local school students from different parts of Hong Kong to come to our dress rehearsal. They are students from 14 to 17, so they are teenagers. And here's what they said. 90% enjoy the performance, 70% become more interested in opera, and almost 40% of them have never been to an opera. So can you imagine, they are teenagers, so without their cell phone for 90 minutes, we kept their interest, and I find this is very powerful. So right now, I would like to invite our performers back again. So we have a selection of the performance from Carmen Hong Kong. So before they can begin, because they have to set up a little bit, I will explain what's happening at this part of the story in the opera. So Carmen and her two best girlfriends, now Vicky and Anna, they're still hiding in the room. So Carmen and their two best girlfriends, they are trying to look for what's going on in their near future, like all young girls do. Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? All girls' dreams. And in the original French opera Carmen, it was done by doing tarot cards, but in our opera, it was done by these. So now I will turn the stage to them. So I hope you enjoy the little selection we have. So again and again we proved, regardless of the age and background of our audience, if we can actually produce opera through the lens of their eyes, through the lens of the 21st century people, we can always reconnect with them. Because opera is a time form that has already been tested by time, and it's a capture of human emotions and spirits that we all share today. So now I would like to invite our performers to come again with Rumiko, so I can properly introduce them right now. So Rumiko, she and I, we founded More Than Musical together in 2016. And Ming, he is our pianist today, and he was also the pianist and our assistant music director during Carmen Hong Kong. Vicky, you have seen her in the video. She was in the gig we had. And Anna, she was also in the original cast of Carmen Hong Kong. And I'm Lucy, by the way. So I would like to start off with a question. Since all of you have been in our More Than Musical journey, thank you very much, especially Maine, he has been with us for a long time. Can you share with us what's different, like working with us than compare with working with other opera companies, and why does this experience matter to you as an artist, and also the local performers and the local audience? Would Vicky want to start first?
I start first. To me, it's like chalk and cheese. It's so different. For me, immersive performance is like you chatting your best friend live, face to face. And when you do on stage concerts and opera, it's like you're doing a presentation or like a Zoom meeting. Why I say that? Because when you do it on stage, it's like you focus on your music, you focus on the conductor and also the performance on the stage. And while doing the immersive performing, I have to interact with the audience because we're so close together and I can see your face so clearly. So I can see you respond. You will do some reaction while I'm doing singing. And so I have to be more like thinking person. I need to think immediately to respond your reaction. Yeah.
So to me, the value of live performance is actually communication between audience and the performers. And then with this, your feedback and energy, the performers just respond. So in an immersive opera setting that we do, that feedback and the communication is just very vibrant and then very obvious. Is that a good summary of what you said? Okay, excellent. Thank you. And Anna?
Yes. Recall the memory working with More Than Musical in Carmen Hong Kong. That was an amazing experience because they trust the artists a lot. They give us a lot of freedom, not just from the producer, even the director. She trusts us and then gave us the space to explore the staging in the production. Because normally, director like to give you a lot of instruction, very detailed. But that time, she was a special one. I think because of the special company, okay? And then she gave us a lot of freedom, try to find out our own way to collaborate with each other on stage, rather than doing this and that on specific timing. I think that was very impressive to me. And the second thing is about you bring the local culture into opera, because sometimes it's hard to understand other activities in other countries. But when you try to put the local culture in it, especially for the new opera comers, they will feel like, something familiar to me in the opera. It helps to promote the art. Yeah. I think that was amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Well, we thought of Carmen, to make Carmen as a Hong Kong young woman's story. That was way before COVID. And then, for us, Carmen is a young woman who just wanted to have her life. It's not about the big hair, with the red rose and the flamenco. it's not that. For us, it's about that particular woman who wanted to own her life. So we want to put it into Hong Kong, like a Hong Kong Carmen. And when we are producing that, I saw myself, oh boy, I'm a Carmen Tokyo. So that's how we want people to see. That's what we make opera contemporary and relatable. And also, we make the Carmen Hong Kong as a Hong Kong story. So artists, like singers, you have a lot to offer on the stage. So that was, thank you for elaborating that part. Thank you.
Yeah, for me, because of the immersive nature of the production, just imagine someone standing 3-4 feet from you when you play piano. So it's very challenging, but at the same time very rewarding, I have to say. So I really enjoyed the experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Min. So this is what we have been doing in Hong Kong for 8 years. And we see this is a universally working, meaning we expanded our opera activity to Japan. So this year, the opera gig you saw on she beautifully performed, the opera gig at the bar. We put it in Tokyo. We call it Opera at the Bar series. And it's all sold out. We started in Hong Kong and brought it to Tokyo. And first time ever that happened in Tokyo, and they sold out. And we are doing immersive opera of La Traviata this coming March, and at the old house. And this is something very new in Japan. So we are very proud that we started in Hong Kong to create a new style of opera presentation and then take it abroad. So for us, this is something that we can move forward in Hong Kong and bring it to abroad, Japan and other part of Asia, and hopefully Europe and America. Because nobody has done this. People have tried. No, let me rephrase it. People have done it, but we are the only company who are specialized in immersive opera in 90 minutes.
So our time is almost up. Thank you everyone again. And if you would like to connect with us, here's our detail, our email address, and please follow us on IG, Facebook, LinkedIn at More Than Musical. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's please come talk to us because we want you guys to join our journey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.